Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Roan. Upgrade your wardrobe today with Roan. Roan.com/chatsports. Code chatsports, 20% off. All right, let's talk about potentially a new head coaching candidate. We've talked a little about him. I know we got asked about him a few days ago in a mailbag episode. That is one Mike McCarthy, the current Cowboys head coach. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reporting that Mike could be eyeing the Bears head coaching job. And we'll talk about all the different factors, his contract situation, and so on and so forth. But here's what Fowler had to say, quote, "I've talked to multiple people who believe McCarthy, should he leave Dallas, could set his sights on Chicago. He would give the Bears much-needed experience and offensive acumen." Now, something that's important to understand is Mike McCarthy's a free agent. He has his contract expire after this Week 18 game for Dallas, and Jerry Jones is not giving him or anyone on his staff a new deal. They're all free agents, at least most of their staff is, including Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator. So the Cowboys are in an interesting spot where if you bring them back, you're going to have to give them all 3-4-year contracts, whatever the standard number is. Like McCarthy's not going to agree to come back on a 1-year deal. Now, they could bring him back on a 3-year deal, fire him, whatever. But McCarthy could also just say, hey, I'm interested in coming back, but X, Y, and Z teams are also interested in interviewing me. I'm going to go talk to those teams as well. Like, he could play hardball with Jerry, even if Jerry wants to bring him back. Look, I would interview Mike McCarthy. I really would. He would not fall in the category of my top tier list. I would not pick him over Ben Johnson, but the Bears need to kind of ditch this attitude of we're too good for certain candidates. Like, they didn't want to talk to Bill Belichick. We'll see if they'll talk to Pete Carroll. Again, I wouldn't have those guys at the top of my list, but McCarthy has coached for a long time, has had success in 2 places, including with the Packers in the NFC North. He's got a good resume. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won 8 division titles, 6 in the NFC North. He's 11-11 in the playoff games, and most people might think, oh, that's average. You win 11 playoff games, that's actually pretty damn good. He's been to 4 conference championship games. I think what he's done this year with the Cowboys has actually been one of his better jobs. He lost Dak Prescott early in the season. The defense struggled most of the year, and he's grinded out some wins with Cooper Rush at quarterback for the second time, by the way. A few years ago, they were winning games with Cooper Rush. He knows what he's doing. Now, he's a little bit older. He's 61 years old. He is 1-4 in his last 5 playoff games. There are some cons to Mike McCarthy. He's certainly not a perfect coach. This would be his 3rd head coaching stop if it were to happen. There's not a super long list of guys in their 3rd stop that do super well. John Fox obviously flamed out in Chicago with his 3rd head coaching stint. Now, I think he's far superior than John Fox. I don't think his offense is super creative, although it's pretty good. I think it could be a little more QB friendly, and obviously you're trying to develop a young guy in Caleb Williams, so those are all factors you have to consider. But again, I think Bears fans have to at least understand that it's possible Ben Johnson just says no. And I kind of look at Mike McCarthy as the offensive Mike Vrabel. He's going to raise your floor significantly. Now, I think the ceiling's probably limited. I think McCarthy's days of winning Super Bowls is probably over, and that is the ultimate goal. But there should also be a goal of, can we just get a better standard in here? Like, the standard in Chicago stinks right now. Like, you're a laughingstock. And with McCarthy, you're unlikely to be a laughingstock. So there's something to be said for that. I'd have him in my 2nd tier of candidates. He would certainly not be a bad fallback option. You could do a lot worse, is my point when it comes to Mike McCarthy. Should the Bears interview McCarthy if he becomes available to interview and if he wants to? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I would interview him. Again, he's not my top guy, but would he be top 5 or 6? Yeah, I think you could do worse than Mike McCarthy. All right, we're going to talk about Caleb Williams here in a second. I hit on a lot of the nuggets from his press conference yesterday, which I thought was really impressive. You guys should go check out his presser. Thought it was good. Offered good perspective on everything. He also talked about his offseason plans. So we're going to dive into that here in just a moment. But first, we are sponsored by Roan. Appreciate Roan for sponsoring today's show. And listen, I move around quite a bit during my shows, especially on our live streams. So starchy and stiff workwear is not really optimal. I prefer Roan as the commuter collection has you looking professional while also feeling very comfortable. Rowan has you looking good without even thinking about it with their layerable, durable, and refined wardrobe options, including pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and even blazers that they offer. Each piece of the commuter collection is made to coordinate and layer for an instantly elevated look. Their signature technical fabrics stretch in every direction, help you breathe, fight odor and the elements, and effortlessly work everywhere so you can stay calm and collected even when life takes unexpected turns. Best of all, Rhone's clothing items are machine washable. Check out the Commuter Collection today as it'll get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to get 20% off your entire order. That's RHONE.com/chatsports, code chatsports for 20% off. It's time to embody your most confident self. That link and promo code are in the comments and description of this video. Check out Rhone today. All right, here's Caleb on his offseason plans. He said this offseason is going to be a big offseason for me, and I'm excited about it. I have things maturity-wise of playing the position that I'm excited about learning. Things are going to take time, and I'm well aware of that and okay with that. But I'm definitely going to try to push myself to exhaustion mentally and physically this offseason and be able to withstand a long season. Obviously, jumping from college to the NFL, you go from playing 12, 13 games to 17 plus 4 preseason games. And I just think with the right coach, he's going to take a big jump. I think he's going to attack this offseason with the right approach, understanding that he does need to get a lot better. He's got all the tools to be great, but he's got to take those steps, both individually, but also collectively with his teammates and whoever this next coach is. That's why this coaching hire is so vital to this team moving forward, because I think you have the right guy at quarterback if you can develop him properly. I really, really do. And despite all the chaos, don't listen to people online. This has not been a disastrous rookie season for him. Has it been a disastrous season for the Bears? No doubt about it. But I don't think he's at the top of the list for this team's issues. Obviously, when you fire an OC halfway through the season, have to fire your coach. And then the guy you make your head coach has 2 job promotions. And the second one, he is probably just a little over his skis, talking about Thomas Brown. Certainly not really fair to him for what they've expected him to do, but that is just kind of the situation. And by the way, if you want my take on the rest of what Caleb had to say yesterday, he talked about what he wants as his next head coach. He was asked about Cliff Kingsbury. By the way, Cliff just talked about being a head coach again. We'll probably talk about that in another video as well. I reacted to his presser yesterday, plus explored this guy a little bit. Cam Scattaboo, not sure if you watched Arizona State's running back run wild on Texas, but explored him as a potential fit with this team as well in the NFL draft. All right, before we get out of here, Jaylon Johnson named to his 2nd straight Pro Bowl, the only Bear to get Pro Bowl honors this year, unless there's some alternates that get voted in if guys drop out. Couple takes. One, I think Jaylon did have a good year. Wasn't as good as last year, but I still think he did have a good year. I do think he's probably the best overall player on this team. Second and more important thought is the Bears need more high-level players. I think some of those players are on the team, but some of those guys have to play better, and you got to add more blue-chip talent. You just do. I think this roster has a lot of good players. They don't have a lot of franchise-changing players. Like, I think you got a couple of those. I think Caleb has a good chance to be one of those. But, as scouts and GMs, there's different color letters to put players into a category. Blue chip is the top one. Red is that second category. I think there's a lot of red players on this roster. Like, I think Montez Sweat, red player. TJ Edwards, red player. You need more blue chippers. You need more blue chippers. And hopefully some of the guys on your roster become that with this new coaching staff. But if it's Ryan Poles, if it's someone else, you're going to have to add some, whether it's in the draft or free agency. So we'll see if they're able to do that this offseason. Show Jaylon some love. He's one of the few blue chippers on this team. Type 1 in the comments below to show number 1, Jaylon Johnson, some love. And hit us up on social media, at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram. That's where you can find me. DMs are open, so we will see you over there. Also, we're going to be live on 4 Verts, my other YouTube channel, Georgia, Notre Dame, 2:30 Central Time pregame, kickoff at 3 o'clock. If you want to hang out with myself and producer Colin for a little watch party action, we'll be live this afternoon. So if you're over there, we'll see you then.